Hello, my name is Thomas Ware. I'm a fourth year PhD student in information systems at Arizona State University. This research is pertaining to the importance of empathy when delegating decisions to algorithms. Algorithms and AI tools are being increasingly used in work capacities. This results in the AI being central in the information processing as well as providing recommendations based off what it has processed. This results in less information being processed by the actual human decision making, which could have salient effects on their cognitive processes. But while these AI systems have been known to be fairly accurate, there have been errors that have led to serious and harmful consequences for individuals. We first leverage IS delegation literature pertaining to how IS artifacts are now able to assume responsibility for more ambiguous tasks, in which Bird and Ruping in their 2021 ISR paper referred to as agentic IS artifacts. They suggest delegation efforts are directly related to the relative endowment and the relative perceptions towards both the human's capabilities and efficacy and the AI's capabilities and efficacy. They also suggest that within this capacity, humans have the propensity to act more as monitors than doers. This is a direct result from the lack of transparency that is given from the algorithm, which pertains to the next body of literature regarding the opacity of AI systems. This is specific literature stream deals with the lack of transparency and the limitations as a result of the inability for the human to understand how the algorithm made its recommendation. Within the stream of literature, researchers have particularly called out whether or not these tools should be used in certain capacities due to the harmful effects across individuals and society. I believe that the lack of transparency is directly related to the uncertainty within the decision environments. Human decision makers have to recruit both affect and cognition within their decision-making processes according to literature on cognitive decision-making. This decision-making process incorporates both search, meaning all the information that's incorporated and going to the decision, and the goal attainment, which pertains to the strategy and making their final determination. However, when AI is incorporated into this process, the algorithm is processing all of the pertinent information and then providing recommendations, which inherently alters the amount of information that human decision maker is able to receive and then able to form their judgments as a consequence. And then with the recommendation, it may also attenuate their ability to maintain a high level of accountability towards the final outcome. These instances can be found across many different contexts where there are ambiguous requirements and where decisions are being made with uncertainty. This aligns with AI use within occupational settings such as healthcare, law enforcement, and finance. Thus, our research questions leveraging this literature is pertaining to elements of empathy when delegating decisions to algorithms, as well as how to potentially deal with the lack of transparency of these AI systems. As a result, I propose the empathic algorithm delegation definition, which involves the ability to understand and consider the viewpoints, feelings, and circumstances of the decision recipient making decisions alongside algorithms. This involves incorporating their empathic responses and incorporating an action-based sense of social responsibility towards the final outcome. In total, this should maintain the overall human connection that is generally being interrupted by AI in its engagement with the information processing. We leverage the effect as information framework to form the framework for empathic algorithm delegation. For instance, within this framework, This stream of literature suggests effect provides valuable feedback regarding the value of the information attributed to that individual, as well as incorporating the overall environmental context referred to as the immediacy principles, both pertaining to the search functions within cognitive decision making. Another principle is the level of focus, which is pertaining to the goal attainment of cognitive decision making, which particularly refers to decision makers' perception of the likelihood of the success or failure of their decision on the final outcome, which leads me to the empathic algorithm delegation framework, which incorporates the first individual perspective taking and the contextual understanding as unique human endowments related to the search process and the overall responsibility towards that final decision related to the goal attainment process and their overall level of accountability towards that final decision. We actually test this theory at a microlending company based out of China, where the decision makers within this microlending company are giving an XGBoost machine learning algorithm that provides recommendations on whether or not a loan application should be granted. We leverage two treatment groups and one control group within this field experiment setting. The first treatment group receives the XGBoost recommendation with a general message pertaining to completing their work. The second treatment group also received the XGBoost recommendation, but we look to manipulate the effective responses using effective priming messages pertaining to individual perspective taking, understanding the context, as well as maintaining responsibility towards the final outcome of the decision. The experiment has been complete, and I am looking to analyze the data now and determine the final outcomes from this experimental setting. I believe this research has very significant implications pertaining to how to maintain the active engagement of human considerations when making decisions alongside algorithms, as well as leveraging empathic responses as a mechanism to interrogate the AI's recommendations so that there is a synergetic relationship between the AI's recommendation and our human understanding of the world and of that individual and how that all pertains to the final decision. I also believe that this has significant theoretical contributions. For example, this research looks to extend the IS delegation to the recipient of the delegation task, in which burden grouping specifically calls out within their ISR paper. And also, this looks to provide a mechanism for decision makers to consider when collaborating with these AI systems in these opaque decision environments. That particularly relates to how to deal with the lack of transparency of these AI systems. Practically, decision makers are able to be more self-aware and better regulate the metacognitive processes in decision making. And finally, decision makers can keep AI as a partner as opposed to a mechanism that where you pass off your decision and the decision is made algorithmically. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Again, I am Thomas Ware, fourth year PhD student at Arizona State University. Thank you.